Subject change. I just saw a van for a Sparky, and his business is called Kev-Tricity. I assume his name's Kev. I think Rudd should have latched onto that for the election campaign. You know, feel the Kev-Tricity.
Yeah,
And
right.
the tragedy is, I think, if you could have got in a position to pitch that to him, he would have gone for it.
He would have gone for it. He was going for anything in the end.
Because he's a fucking idiot. No, he's not unintelligent, but the weird shit he does, he's so obsessed with how he's perceived publicly, and he blunders really badly almost every time he does it, like making the awful dad jokes. Completely unironically. He actually thinks he's reaching out to the kids and stuff, and it's just, shut up.
No, don't do that.
Shut up.
Please don't do that.
It's like, it's not as bad as Tony Abbott saying a succession of creepy as fuck things and just thinking he's got the common touch. The peddling of the daughters was
Really
unpleasant.
creepy. Really creepy.
And talking about what's good about your candidate, she's got sex appeal. All right, that's clueless and blundery. But the one that really got me, that didn't get that much attention, got a bit of attention, he was with a girls' volleyball team, and he was basically making sexual comments about them.
Great.
And the wrong meter just broke as it was trying to measure how wrong he was on that. And it's just like, whew. Okay, but yeah, Kev's just embarrassing, like when he tries to use kid speak. And if you told him, like, pitched him a slogan like, feel the Kev-Tricity, he would have fucking gone for it.
He would have gone for it.
He's so obsessed with appearing groovy, he would have gone for it. Oh my god, and that guy his logo is proudly a comic of Tradies Crack, and it's just a little cartoon character bent over doing flooring. That was a flooring van. We're in the industrial area by the looks of it. It was a flooring van, and he had a cartoon character bent over doing flooring with most of his ass sticking out over his pants. It's like, yep, we do it on purpose.
Yeah, that sends the chicks wild.
Tradies Crack. Oh.
Let me put 50 cents in your money box there, big guy.
Yeah. You can play a game of pitch and toss and see so you can get the magic mark. Oh, very, very unpleasant. Oh dear. This is the joy of doing these drive-in talks, is that we get to ramble as we are both fond of doing.
It's a true story.
And then we pass weird shit and we can just tangent
Check out the
off.
weird shit. That's really weird.
Yes. So, we're going shopping, but we're multitasking. We're not just driving to going shopping. We're entertaining you folk while we do it.
That's true. That's really real.
Plus, we get to work out ideas of things we might do at another time as well.
Yeah.
You know,
Which will be good.
Yeah, because stuff is happening. Let me tell you, by Jingos, by Jollies. Oh dear. Oh, that just reminded me. Have you watched Downton Abbey at all?
I watched bits of it. Yeah.
Yeah. I did not think it would appeal to me that much, because it's just like a revamp of Upstairs, Downstairs.
Yeah.
Which I was never really into. It's really quite good. I really, really enjoy watching it. And the occasional turn of phrase on that show just makes me piss myself. Like one of the daughters is going to see a man who she hopes will propose to her at some point, and she's dolled up for the meeting, and it goes, have you done something jolly with your hair? Well, the number of ways you can take that.
Have you done something jolly with your hair? Well, yes. And I think you'll find the curtains match the drapes.
Yeah. My personal favourite bit of Downton Abbey is the politics and snobbery of the servant classes is way more vicious than the ruling
classes. Yeah, they take their position bloody seriously, and
there's really
there's
striated
a real ladder, and you're on your rung, and don't pretend that you can get out of it.
Which explains how the system was perpetuated for so long.
Yeah.
That at the lower levels they were all fighting among themselves. Yeah. And Lordy knows that's not a tactic that colonialists use very often.
Hang on.
Wait a minute. I think it's even got a name. Divide and Conquer.
Oh, right. Yeah. So it's because I was just under the probably mistaken impression that that's what the British Empire did fucking everywhere it went.
Everywhere. Look, everywhere the British Empire went, Africa, the subcontinent, throughout their empire, they basically said, okay, you are now better than him.
Yeah.
Okay? Yeah. Isn't that awesome?
Yeah, awesome. Mind you, he wants what you've got.
So you better make sure he doesn't.
So you better make sure. I will protect you, but you better make sure I get what I need and he doesn't get anything. Got me? Gotcha.
Yeah. Oh, and of course, I don't want to suggest they only did it to the non-white parts of the empire. Yes, I've got Irish ancestry. It's kind of obvious how they did that with the Irish as well. So,
well, I mean, you know, Australia is a continent, and they took Australia in under 70 years. It's a continent. It's huge. It was full of people when they turned up, and these people, after about 15 years, decided these white fellas are not leaving, they've got to go. And so there was, in fact, what we would call a war. And for a longest time, it looked like the British Empire was going to lose another colony. However, politically, they couldn't afford to. They had, in living memory, just lost America. So they couldn't afford to do that again.
Yeah.
And so they cut deals and divided the locals to the point, because the locals were always used to fighting each other, not anyone else.
Yeah,
that was traditional. In
case you didn't know, the Australian Indigenous divided into some thousands of languages because it's a big ass place, and their mode of transport was walking.
Yep.
So it was very easy to be divided when mixing was really difficult.
Mixing was not only very difficult, but there was territorial disputes all over the place.
Yeah.
The British basically worked this out early, and then what made the British shit themselves was the locals, the Indigenous, united as a one army force, and it looked like they were going to get fucking swamped and killed. So they then found the delicate cracks of traditional warfare and leaned on them until they broke. The army broke up into 3 armies, then 6, and then by that time they went through and interdicted all their supplies, meaning that they shot all of the hunters and gatherers, meaning the warriors then had to come out of the field of battle to go and hunt and gather. And so they, and then as it was going badly, the locals just broke up in disarray, and the white guys just flooded the continent.
Which was a minor miracle, because the British were so badly prepared for an incredibly harsh continent.
Oh yeah, and by the time they took it, they were learning, but you know, in the early days they had no clue what they were doing.
It was so half-assed. They sent so few people and so few specialists. It was a miracle they survived. And you get all these weird stories of like the people were basically limited to Sydney because there's a big ass mountain range just beyond it, and they couldn't find an accessible pass through. When they eventually did, they found cows on the other side of the mountains, which was cows that had gone wandering off from a pastoralist lease.
That's right.
And the cows found the mountain pass before the humans did.
Yeah.
That's how organised the humans were.
Yeah. And, you know, basically the cows found the way before the humans did. And then then as soon as they left those mountains, as soon as they went down into the plains on the other side, that was when the Indigenous said, they're not going, in fact they're invading, let's go.
And in fact that was definitely their fiercest opponents. If you're the type who likes to look up things, look up a guy called Windradine, who was this close to turning the tide.
Absolutely, he nearly had him. He nearly had it all.
And if I remember rightly, he's the classic story of, he started off with, well, let's give him a chance. And he underestimated the brutality of the colonials, who actually killed his own family, because they had a lot of trouble distinguishing one black fella from another.
Yep.
And so they killed allies because they were just savages. And this happened in New Zealand as well.
Yeah.
Make the mistake of killing the family of an ally, and he goes a bit angry, and
little bit, yeah.
becomes a general in the resistance, and ooh, yay, close to pulling it off.
Yeah, absolutely.
So,
absolutely, the battles between Lithgow and Bathurst was so fierce. And the thing was too that the British couldn't afford to lose against a savage army, so most of the conscripts that died weren't recorded as dead. They lost 5,000 in 1 year, and no one knows who they are because they buried the books.
Yeah.
It's incredible.
And they would have just been Irish, Scottish, working class, English, Welsh,
Cockney warriors, yeah.
That had no records attached to them anyway.
Yeah. So it was a deeply political situation. It was a deeply divisive thing.
Yeah.
They couldn't afford to lose. They couldn't afford to spend much more money on it. Yeah. And it was a close-run thing. You know, we were nearly speaking pitch and jar in this country.
Yeah. Oh, so I hope you've enjoyed our rambles on that. We're actually at the parking lot now.
Yeah.
Got to get a couple things, and most likely we'll make another one of these on the way home. So if you enjoyed this, you'll enjoy what comes next.
Absolutely. Thanks. You're nice, like you.
Yep.
Shall I
Talk
press
to you
this
later.
little button?
Yeah, press the button.